Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Andy here. I went from depressed and suicidal to living a life of abundance and joy. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. A guy that really helped me a lot over the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, 7 years of my life is Chris from Good Looking Loser. He wrote a lot of articles about sex, about getting laid, about masculinity, about self improvement, and he had a very big impact on my life. Now, at the moment, his website is down. If you go to goodlookingloser.com, site offline, has been offline for, God, I think at this point, like 8 or so months. And so part of what I like to do with some of these videos is I go through some of his old archived articles, which if you search, you can find his articles archived, or you can go to theredarchive.com. And I like to read out some of his articles and sort of pay tribute to a man that had a very big impact on my life and talk about some of his dating philosophies. Most of his advice was for men who just wanted to have sex rather than relationships, and he definitely didn't really have any content towards women, but some of his, or plenty of his ideas definitely apply to women as well. So I like to go through and react to some of his content, talk about some of my philosophies, because sometimes I have different philosophies from him. You know, I've moved on and sort of evolved myself and found out what I like, but let's jump straight into it. This article is Girls That Are Mean to You. And the ... after that, it says, girls that are mean to you ... have mental problems. That is the title of this article. And the point of this article is basically for guys out there, and this applies to women too, if you just flip the genders, but for people out there, if you're dating, or really if you're just going through life, but especially in the dating arena, if you're dating and the other person is just completely mean to you, maybe at the first time you message them, maybe on a dating app, or you walk up to them in person and you say hello, if they're just like irrationally unkind to you, like they give you shit or they say something that's not particularly nice, the point of this article was to point out that it might not be you. That person might have, in Good Looking Loser's words, mental problems. The way that I like to phrase it is more like they might just be having a bad day, or they might not want you to have talked to them. They might just want to be alone. But a lot of the time, it has nothing to do with you, and it's more of a reflection of how that person might be feeling at that moment in time. In other words, this article is, and it's a little bit brash, it's a little bit crass, but this article is basically trying to show you or help you have a little bit of empathy for the people that you might be talking to or hitting on or wanting to date. You know, they're human beings too. They're not perfect. And sometimes they might be grumpy. Sometimes they might be mean. But as long as you were polite, as long as you were decent, like, you know, you didn't walk up and say, hey, sweet tits, show me that sweet, sweet pussy. Yeah, you might not get a great reaction to that. Or if you're a woman and you walk up to a guy and you're like, hey, fucking hot ass, show me those balls, big boy. Yeah, you might not get a great reaction to that. But as long as you were pretty decent, pretty polite, like you didn't do anything weird, if someone is mean to you, they're probably just having a bad day. And this applies to like friendships. It definitely applies to the workplace. So many people will get really hurt and down and take it very personally if their boss is mean to them. And it's like, if you can understand that your boss is a human being and maybe they're just having a shit day, then it helps you take that heat off yourself and realize it's not about you. And now, obviously, if your boss is mean to you, you're allowed to quit. You're allowed to go to HR. You're allowed to go to your boss and say, hey, come on, you know, I expect to be treated a little better than that. If you're not going to treat me better than that, that's okay. But then I will figure out what I'm going to do. I might leave. I might blah, 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 blah. So you can make decisions based on that. But this article is basically showing you that it's usually not about you. Let's jump into it. Mean Girls. That's one of my favorite movies, by the way. Unironically, the original film, the 2004 film with Lindsay Lohan, unironically one of my favorite films of all time. Not even fucking joking. Mean Girls. I shouldn't have waited 7 to 8 months to hit you with this post. By the way, I don't know any of the girls in this photos. Yeah, he puts photos in his articles sometimes, but they're just like random photos that he finds on the internet. If you are familiar with Good Looking Loser, you'll know that we are about screening girls with physical advances simply to determine if they are sexually available. And that isn't something that I personally advocate for. I don't personally advocate for like touching chicks if you don't know if they want to be. I usually just ask first. I'm like, hey, I want to kiss you. Can I kiss you? Kiss me. You know, any of that kind of stuff. But each to their own. Girls that reject you or get lost are generally rejecting your invite for sex because they aren't sexually available. Girls will also get lost a lot if they know their logistics won't work. It's not necessarily you. That's the key point. And again, zoom out. And this is a very hyper-masculine article written directly for men who want to have more sex. But if you zoom out, these concepts are universal. You know, if you're a woman listening and you're wanting to date a guy, or maybe you're already dating a guy and he doesn't want to date you, or he's not interested, or he's not showing you that he's interested, it might not be you. You know, it's not necessarily you. He might not just be in that headspace where he's ready to date. He might just not be that interested in dating in general. He might be looking for something that you're not offering. He might be looking for a different type of person, but that isn't necessarily a rejection. You don't have to take it as a rejection. You can just sort of move on and find the people that do want to be with you, or do want to build something with you, or do want to have sex, or whatever. So it's not necessarily you. They are just rejecting sex. Yeah, I've done podcasts and videos about this where I say a rejection is not a rejection of you. It's a rejection of your offer. If you walk up to a woman and you say, hey, I like you, would you like to go on a date with me? If she says no, she isn't necessarily rejecting you as a human being and saying you're invalid and you're worthless and you're a piece of shit. No, she's saying, I don't want that offer. That thing that you're offering, no thank you. In the same way that if you were offering her a glass of water and she said no, you wouldn't take that as a personal rejection. You'd just say, oh, she doesn't want the water. So you can kind of look at it exactly the same. And he says exactly that. You know, she's rejecting sex. She's rejecting what you're offering. If your looks and style are tight, it's pretty much always a rejection of the approach and not you. You know, it's pretty decent advice. We have no idea what this girl is like. She has nice glasses though, and that's the only thing I noticed about her. I promise everybody, the glasses is the only thing that I noticed, and not her absolutely fabulous breasts. Really good job with those boobs. She grew them herself. Good job. That's not a fucking reframe, it's the truth. Some of my friends out here are on magazine covers, on underwear commercials, kinda gay. I don't think underwear commercials are kinda gay. Unless they're like making out with other men and having sex when they take them. That might be kinda gay. And they get rejected by lesser girls. It's not because of their looks. I'll put my life on that. Yeah, like not everyone is going to want to date you or sleep with you or be your friend or give you money or work with you or interact with you. You know, some people just aren't interested in what you're offering, and that's beautiful. That then frees us up to go and find the people who do want what we're offering, because they'll be a better match for us anyway. You don't really want to spend your life or your time with someone that's half interested in being with you or half invested. It's much more fun to find the people that are a fuck yes, and they're super excited and they're like, hell yes, I want to spend time with you. I want to date you. I want to sleep with you. I want to marry you. I want to be friends with you. I want to be your client, whatever it might be. It's so much more fun to find the people that are enthusiastic. Remember, she's probably fucked a guy uglier and less cool than you anyway. That was one of my favorite articles. I can react to that if you guys and girls would like me to, but yeah, I really liked that article. That was a really cool concept. Screening is a much healthier approach than the Mr. Funny Man or I hope she likes me. And these are separate articles that he did. I think I've reacted to one or two of them. These are basically the concepts of what most guys do. And most women too. Most women do this. Where it's like, oh man, I hope the other person likes me. Or I have to be very funny and charismatic and perfect and an alpha male. And I have to keep a mask up. And I can't just be my honest, authentic self. And I have to be everything that they want me to be. That really resonates with a lot of you, doesn't it? Like, or you've probably heard of that before, where it's like, you've probably been in that situation where you're like, man, I really hope this person likes me. I have to be perfect for them. I have to do everything they want. Women definitely fall into that trap. Men fall into that trap. But at the end of the day, it's much healthier, and more to the point, you'll be much happier if you just be the best version of yourself that you can be and improve a little bit every day, and then play the numbers game and go and meet a lot of people and find the ones that want to be with you, that like you, and that you like in return. Okay, cool. You knew that. What to say to girls that are mean to you. Please listen now. I'm fucking listening, Chris. I'm all in. Let's go, baby. I want you to turn off the analytic voice in your head right now. That's a beautiful point. Yeah. Do you? So many times I will do like a video or a podcast or an article or something, and the analytical voice in your head or the combative voice in your head will arc up. The ego in your head will arc up, and you'll go, no, he's wrong. No. rather than actually listening and saying, can I find some truth in what he's saying? And I might not 100% agree. I don't agree with every person on the planet. I definitely don't expect all of you to agree with everything I have to say. But if you can sort of quieten that ego or that defensiveness is probably a kinder way of phrasing it. If you can sort of quieten down that defensiveness and just sort of be a little more quiet and just listen and see, is there some truth there? And if there's no truth there for you, beautiful. Go and find someone where you can find some truth. But that defensiveness holds so many people back from happiness and success and the things that they want, because the analytical or the defensive or the ego voice in your head would just go, nope, that's wrong. I know better, blah, 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 blah. And you won't do anything to change. A big part of change is humility and accepting that some of the things that you think you know might not be correct, or they might not be super efficient. They might not be the best way of doing things. And I constantly go through that myself every single day. I'm proven wrong like 100 times a day. I've gotten to a point where I can let go of most of my attachment to being right. I would rather be wrong than right, because if I'm wrong, I learn something. If I'm right, well, nothing changes. So I want change, but that isn't the default state of our brain. Our brain is kind of wired to be over analytical, critical, defensive. It's why I can do content where I'm literally like, hey, none of this is me telling any of you what to do. I want you to be happy and do whatever you want. And then there'll be a defensive comment from someone saying, why are you telling me what to do? And so if you can quieten that voice just a little bit, you might actually learn something. And most of you are, to be fair, most of you are like very, very humble. I'm actually really impressed by this community. I don't ever ask you to accept the shit I say without comparing it to your experience or the other stuff you might have heard. Yeah, me too, by the way. Like, that's why I say this is all just a big experiment. Go and try things. Be humble enough to listen and then go try it. And I say all the time, try what I say, then go find someone else and try what they say, then read a book and try that, then just randomly trial and error, try a few different things in your own life and see what works for you. At the end of the day, all of my content and my coaching especially is here for me to facilitate what you want and what works for you. For this, however, I'm going to ask you to accept what I say. I don't think I ever really ask you to accept what I say. Not that there's anything wrong with that, by the way. I'm not criticizing him, but I think I go even further with this. And I'm like, you don't ever have to accept what I say. I want you to accept whatever you want to accept. But I get what he's saying here. Like, you do get to a point when you're a coach or an author like he is, with this blog, and he's had such a metric fuck ton of experience. And you do sometimes get to a point where people will just like argue. And they're not arguing with you. They're being like defensive and they're not listening. And they'll say like, I'm really unhappy. Can you help me? And you'll go, okay, like what if you try this? Here's some advice, try this. I've seen this from ridiculous amounts of experience with myself, clients, friends, blah, blah, blah. And then the person will go, no, that won't work. And you're like, you're saying that why? Why are you saying it won't work? And they'll go, I know that won't work. And you're like, okay, but how do you know that won't work? And they're like, I feel like it won't work. And you're like, so your feelings override all of my experience and all the experience of all my friends and all the experience of everyone else. You can every now and then get a little frustrated by that. So I completely understand why he wrote this. This is basically just like him saying, for once, and plenty of people do, but like for once, can you, the cynical person, just shut up and just fucking trust me for like half a second. Just try my advice and at least see if it works. You don't have to like follow it forever, but at least try it for a little bit and see if it works. It is one of the funny parts of being, I don't want to say an expert because I never see myself as an expert, and Chris didn't really either. He's quite a humble person. I mean, look, he's literally saying here, don't accept the shit that I say, compare it to your experience or blah, blah, blah. So he was quite a humble person, but I can see how sometimes every now and then you're like, fucking just trust me for once. Just fucking try it. Just please try it for a little bit and see if it works. If it doesn't work, beautiful. But at least just fucking trust me enough to try it for half a second to see if it fucking works for you. So this is why I talk a lot about humility. And in the coaching program, we have a list of videos that you watch when you first sign up. And one of them is about humility. This, by the way, is the video platform that we have as part of coaching. So this one right here that you can see how to get the most out of coaching. We have this big whole section on that, or in that, on being humble. And then in the video section on top of that, where is it? How your ego can hold you back, be humble. And we did an entire 40-minute freaking audio about how to let go of some of that attachment to the ego. Anyway, let's keep reading. You won't find this type of insight from a PUA pickup artist guy that doesn't have experience with actually fucking a lot of really hot girls, hanging out with them, having them as fuck buddies on and off, being part of the same social circles, pool parties, concerts, going on road trips with them to Las Vegas, watching me pee on road trips. Oh, that's fun. I have a pee fetish, by the way. Not necessarily that I'd want to watch Chris from Good Looking Loser pee, but each to their own. Watching them pee on road trips. There you go. Now you're speaking my language, young man. Then having to find a bathroom anyway, having them meet some of my friends, going to the gym with them, going to the beach with them, partying with them, getting ice cream with them at 1 a.m. That's very early in the morning, my friend. I'm usually asleep by 9 p.m. Having them talk with their little brothers about working out, etc. Basically, Chris had a lot of experience with attractive women and women in general. I understand what makes hot girls tick. Some are my friends, some are my fuck buddies, and some I just have a, quote, professional relationship with. I understand how excited they are when they meet a guy they like. I understand how devastating it is when their haircut turns out average, and when their eyebrows aren't on point as well, brother. I understand what goes through their head when they post a picture or a hot picture on Facebook and less than 20 people like it. I understand how upset some of hot girls get when they see another hot girl flaunting her perfect fake boobs. Yeah. I understand how they panic when they turn 27 out of their prime with no top 10% boyfriend or husband. Yeah. I understand how a lot of them are living week to week and doubting if they'll ever be famous. Yeah, remember that he lived in Los Angeles, so there were a lot of women that come to Hollywood to be famous. There'd be a lot of doubt and insecurity there, I imagine, and that's how you end up with a situation like, the Harvey Weinstein stuff. You have like a lot of vulnerable people that are very insecure about themselves, and then you have someone who's in a position where they have something that all these women want. Yeah, you can see how that sort of thing will happen. I understand how, I read that, didn't I? I understand how some of them do adult film gigs. Yeah, I hadn't even read that, and that's exactly what I just said with the Harvey Weinstein sort of stuff. Even the nice girls, and not necessarily porno, just to pay rent and how bad they feel afterwards. I understand this stuff. I don't just know it, if that makes sense. It's not from an ebook. Yeah. I actually always had hot girls in my life, but prior to 2007-ish, I rarely scored with them. I've since been with a whole host of pretty girls, some bitchy girls, some nice girls, some shy girls, some goofy girls, etc. I've really learned a lot because I've been able to keep a lot of them around for months and months, usually because I'm thought to have good boyfriend potential, not boyfriend material, and he's talked about that concept in other articles. Girls would spend months trying to convert me from a player into a boyfriend. Some made a good case, actually. I really got to see what every girl was about when they become regulars. I'd really love updated articles from Good Looking Loser. I know he's busy running his companies and stuff, but he's like married now with a family, so I'd love to see his, like a rewrite of stuff like this, because he wrote these when he was in his like player, fuckboy getting laid phase. I'd love more content from him, but obviously he's busy running his companies. Some of them were huge disappointments, carrying so much emotional baggage, it was fucking sad. Yeah, like just because someone's attractive doesn't mean they're a wonderful human being. I think we all understand that on a logical level, but on an emotional level, we will look at someone who's very attractive, man or woman, or we'll look at someone who's famous, like a celebrity, and we'll just assume that their life must be amazing. They must be just a wonderful human being and all of that. That's called the halo effect. Yeah, halo effect. So it's basically that when it's a bias when we see someone that's like ridiculously attractive, or we think they're famous, or we think they're cool, that we just assume that everything about them must be wonderful and fabulous and perfect. A lot of you might even be doing that about me. I get lots of coaching clients, because with coaching clients, I get to have a deeper conversation with them than I can with all of you. And I'll have a deep conversation with them, and they'll be like, man, Andy, your life must be just like so perfect. And I'm like, whoa, I'm grateful for my life and I love my life and I wouldn't change a damn thing, but what do you think my life is? And they'll be like, wow, you must be having like a threesome every single day. And it's like, bro, I'm busy like doing content. I'm busy like coaching people. I'm busy trying to pay the rent. So life is amazing and beautiful and wonderful, but you often have this inflated idea of what my life might be like. You might look at someone like Dan Bilzerian or something and assume he's just partying every single week and blah, 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 blah. But you gloss over the parts of his life that maybe aren't glamorous. And fair enough, he's not showing them to you. I try and show as much of that stuff as I can to all of you. I tell you about it regularly. I say like, I'm not having threesomes and doing crazy stuff every day, but you'll still make assumptions. Others were absolutely great and would probably come over right now if I texted them, if they were available. With nearly every fuck buddy, we'd have 1 or 2 days a month when we'd drink or do drugs, go to a club, and come back and have sex. I got to see how they treated other people, particularly other guys that tried to talk to them. I began seeing a pattern after I started seeing this girl, Jamie. The pattern holds nearly perfectly consistent to this very day. I've also seen it with girls that are just my friends. Honestly, I have not seen an exception to this rule. The girls that are rude or mean to guys within 5 to 10 seconds of meeting them have problems. The girls that are always polite to guys don't have problems. And you can kind of expand this a little further. And I wouldn't necessarily say the word like have problems or that you have mental problems, but I phrase it like this. I say if you're mean to strangers or if you're not particularly kind to people, it's usually because you're not happy in yourself. I say the same thing about negative YouTube comments. You really come to see this when you're a content creator or when you're, in the position that I'm in. Anyone that leaves a negative comment, if I talk to them, which I try to, my best for as many of them as I can, like I'll say, hey, it sounds like, sounds like you're unhappy. Is there anything that I can do for you? Is there anything you'd like from me? Sounds like you're hurting right now. If they say something that's very emotional. And without exception, every single person goes, yeah, I'm just going through some tough in my life. Yeah, life is hard right now. Yeah, this happened. My grandma just died, or no girls are nice to me, or, I wish that I had a friend, or there's always something going on that's an unhappiness within that person. Because I think we can all sort of understand the concept that when we're very happy in ourselves, we can't help but we're happy. And so that affects and changes every single interaction we have with every other human being. Like we walk down the street and people look at us and we smile. We can't help it. We're happy. Think about times in your life where you might have had something amazing and beautiful happen. Maybe you got a job promotion. Maybe a girl you really liked was into you. Maybe a guy you really liked asked you out and you felt like you were on cloud nine. You felt like you were up here. You were just in bliss. How do you treat other people when you're feeling like that? You can't even fucking help yourself. You're just so over the top, unbelievably happy. It's why I say it's why I focus on this channel and say a lot. Start that whole sentence again. It's why I focus so much in this channel on self-love and self-happiness and independence. It's why I love books like I Need Your Love, Is That True? By Byron Katie, where she talks about instead of trying to find love and get other people to give you love, what if you find that love within yourself? What if you give yourself that acceptance? What if you focus a little bit on self-improvement and building a beautiful life for yourself and being happy within yourself? And then you don't need someone else to complete you and to make you happy and all of that. So in those moments when we're happy, when we're actually truly deeply happy in ourselves, we can't help but be nice to strangers. We just fucking are. If any of you listening, if you won the lottery tomorrow and you won $5 million, do you think that you'd be nice to people or nicer to people than you are right now? Yes. Now imagine that you had imagine tomorrow, all of your friends stopped hanging out with you, any relationships you might be in, they cheated on you and then they left you and told you that you were ugly and a piece of shit and they didn't want to be around you anymore. And your job fired you and your real estate, your landlord kicked you out and said, sorry, you got to be homeless. And then some random person came up to you and stole your wallet or your purse and stole all of your stuff, and you basically only had a shirt or a dress or whatever you happen to be wearing, and that's all you have. And then it's freezing cold at night and you have to sleep outside in a park and you're homeless. And then you go to fucking sleep in a park and then a homeless person comes up to you and says, hey, this is my turf, motherfucker. And then they kick you out. With all of that, do you think you're going to be nice to strangers under those circumstances? Or do you think you're going to be slightly less nice than you are right now? And so I think we understand on a rational level that yes, when I'm happy in my own life and happy in myself, I just treat others a lot kinder. And then when I'm unhappy in myself, I don't necessarily treat others as kindly. Or, I personally, Andy, try and be as kind as I can all the time. I'm not perfect with it, but I try and be as kind as I possibly can. I just have less to give when I'm not happy in myself. Like there's just less there for me to give. There's less generosity. There's less over the top happiness. I might still be polite and decent, but there's less of that like, oh, I want to be so nice to people. And so we understand that on a logical level. And so you can then step back and go, okay, if I'm a guy and I walk up to a woman and I approach her on the street and she's just kind of like cold and she's just not interested, or maybe she's even mean, which is really rare. That's quite rare. In clubs and bars at night, it happens a little bit more. But if you go outside during the daytime and hit on a woman, for the most part, 99.9% of them are going to be nice. But let's say she's like cold and she kind of ignores you. You can kind of step back and go, maybe she's just not super happy in herself. And don't do that. You don't have to do that from a judgmental point of view. Like, yeah, I bet her life sucks. My life is better than her. I'm happier. No. But you can have a little bit of compassion and say, okay, maybe she's just not super happy right now. That's okay. If I was really unhappy in myself, if all of these events had happened and I was just really struggling with life and really suffering and all of that kind of stuff, yeah, I might not be super receptive to someone hitting on me. Or if you're a woman and there's a guy that you really like, but he's just really cold, maybe he's going through some stuff right now. And maybe your time might be better spent, your energy might be better spent finding someone that's open and warm right now and is into you and is just in a good place. And so realizing all of this can help you have a little bit of that empathy for yourself and for your fellow human beings. And then you don't get so stressed about like rejection. That's why I say again, I don't believe there is such a thing as rejection. Neither did Good Looking Loser. He might use that word, and sometimes I do too, but at his core, his philosophy was, if she, quote, rejects you, she's just not available. It's got nothing to do with you. And the same thing to any women listening. If there's a guy you like and he just isn't seeming that into you, he might just not be available, or he might not be looking for what you're offering. So these are all ways of taking this stuff a lot less personally, which means that you actually enjoy the process of dating or having sex or relationships or whatever it might be that you're looking for, because you don't put so much pressure on yourself and others to be perfect. So he goes on to say, keep in mind that most guys aren't touching or being crude to women when they approach, so girls have no reason to be mean to them. We are aggressive and crude, so that was something he advocated for. He was a lot more assertive, a lot more direct, and he would be very physical. He would hold girls' hands, he would touch them. That isn't something that I recommend. At the end of the day, you can all do whatever the hell you want. You're all adults, but that isn't something that I talk about or advocate for or advise. But yeah, so basically saying most guys, when they talk to a woman, are pretty nice. And so if a woman is mean to them, she's obviously not happy in herself. Again, this is something that I figured out and not something I was ever told. Girls that are mean versus girls that are nice to you. And again, this applies to both genders. So if you're a woman and there's other women or men that are not being super nice to you, you can kind of step back, even if it's like in the workplace or a friendship or something like that. You can step back and maybe not take it as personally, because you can realize they're probably just not happy. There's something that's bothering them. They're just having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, a bad life for some people. And it's probably not personal, or I don't have to take it personally. He says, let's compare 5 obvious girls that stand out. Kay, super hot. My best buddy for most of my life until about 2011, but we are still close though. Nice to me on and off. Comes to Los Angeles to visit me. Will always have huge incident that reminds me or us why we never got in a relationship again. We agree. She's bipolar on guys, sometimes very flirty, sometimes completely rude. She once put out a cigarette on some guy's neck as the story goes. I'm guessing she'll see this and laugh. Stable, no, crossed out. M, hot, nice girl, another long-term fuck buddy and a friend. Southern belle, sorta. Always sucks up her mood for everyone, even when she should cry. She is happy most of the time though. She takes work very seriously, never had an argument with her in 5.5 years. Super polite to guys, even the rude guys. Stable. K2. Above average, drug addict, family problems. Sweet girl when she tries super hard. Drama 50% of every phone call. Serious issues. Is only polite to guys when the drugs are right. Even when I took her home, she was somewhat rude to me. Not stable. T. Very hot. Fitness freak. Body dysmorphia. Well, that's pretty common with fitness freaks, yeah. Not necessarily a health freak though. Constantly goes back to her ex. Always brought meaningless drama to my apartment. Her workout partner flaked out. People can't drive. 24-hour gym closes at 10 p.m. on weekends. Shut up. She's absolutely disgustingly rude to guys that aren't in shape. Not stable, sorry. Maybe I can interject. I feel like this is going to be fairly obvious, but at the end of the day, you guys and girls can date whoever you want and meet whoever you want and spend time with whoever you want. I feel like I want to interject this. You don't have to spend time with people that bring drama. And if you're a long-time follower of my channel, you know that something that I personally care about is not having any drama. I don't really like drama. I don't like negativity. I don't like any sort of like bullying or meanness or any of this sort of stuff. So I wouldn't personally, like me personally, if any of you care, I wouldn't even talk to I would talk to a person like this. I'd be kind to them and loving and compassionate. But like, this is not a person that would be in my life. Neither would like this person, neither would this person. I screen very hard for like, I don't know if stable is the right word, but I screen very hard for like kind people, not just women, but like people in my coaching program. My coaching program is so unbelievably loving and kind and supportive and motivational and all of that. There's like no hardcore pressure of like, come on, pussy, like you got to lose weight, you got to do this. No, it's like very welcoming, very kind and all of that, whatever words you want to use. But I'm just interjecting this to tell you that you guys and girls don't have to put up with drama if you don't want to. Chris, at this point in his life, was quite happy to. I suspect that's changed now, given he's married with kids and all of that. There's nothing wrong with drama. At the end of the day, I advise all of you to do whatever the hell you would like to do, but I personally cannot stand drama. There's like no drama in my life. I cannot even imagine a human being bringing drama to me. And people try, obviously, like being a content creator means people leave negative comments. It's like, no, thank you, not interested, just ignore. Like, so yeah, that's an option if you would like to remove all drama from your life and just have a very peaceful life, which is something that I care about, something that I enjoy and have enjoyed for the last 5 or 6 years. So it's definitely possible if that's something that resonates with all of you. S, very hot, sexy girl, another long-term fuck buddy / friend. She's down to hook up with no strings attached when she's single. In fact, I count on it and I get excited because her body is ridiculous. Unlike M, the nice girl, S has a sexy side, but she's not a bitch. She's absolutely nice to every guy and is appreciative of all the attention. She's stable. So there's 5 girls. And yeah, I've everything that is in my life resonates with what he's talking about. Everyone that I've ever seen, people I've dated, people I've slept with, people I have been friends with, people I've just met at parties, definitely coaching clients, YouTube commenters, random people in my audience and community, people on the forums, my old forums, people on the Good Looking Loser forums. There's just night and day. Every time someone is mean, it is because they're in a state or in a place in their life where they're not happy. They're just not happy. And realizing that helps you take it a lot less personally. I don't take a negative YouTube comment personally. Even if someone is literally like, Andy, you're a bald piece of shit and you deserve to die and blah, 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 blah. I'll read that and go, wow, this person's like really not in a happy place, because happy people don't talk like that. Happy people don't want to see other people suffer. In fact, happy people feel so happy that they want other people to be happy. It's like infectious. It's like you have so much within yourself that you want to give to other people. You can't help it. It accidentally falls out of you. Happiness and peace and love falls out of you when you're very happy in yourself. And so if I see a woman or a guy or a client, or I wouldn't have clients like that, but if I had someone in the audience or something who's speaking like that, any of you that might be speaking like that, you will notice if you speak to me like that, you won't get anything from me because I'm just not interested, because I don't take it personally. I realize that you're not in a great place in your life, and that's okay. I was not in a great place in my life, and I guess I can speak from that experience. When I was depressed and suicidal for all of those years, I was not fucking nice to strangers. I just wasn't kind to people because I wasn't happy in myself. So yeah, it seems obvious and logical, but sometimes we take things very personally when we get like rejected. But if you can step back and go, oh, this person's being mean to me because they're just not happy right now, then from that place, you don't take it personally. And if you want to, you can offer them something, which you don't have to do, but I do. I offer, if someone's mean to me, if they're really mean to me, sometimes I'll just, depends how I feel. Sometimes I'll just ignore it. I'll block them. I'll mute them, whatever. But a lot of the time you'll see me in comments say, hey, it sounds like you're really hurting right now. Is there anything you would like from me? And most of the time the response is like, fuck yourself, or just nothing at all. That's the response most of the time. If you're kind to someone that's not being nice to you, that's being actively mean, a lot of the time you just get nothing in return. But sometimes they go, look, I'm really sorry. And probably the best example is I used to work at a retail job. I worked at Target, and there was this woman that came in that was just incredibly like grumpy one day, and she was just unbelievably mean. But I didn't take it personally right? Which a lot of workers take things personally, right? They're like, "Don't speak to me like that, sir," and it's like, well, that's going to make it worse, isn't it? That's definitely not going to de-escalate the situation. But I didn't take it personally, and I just helped her. I solved her problem. I was like, yeah, no, I understand. I get why you're angry. That's fair enough. Like, what if we try this? Let's fix this. Let's do that. And we fixed the problem. Everything was beautiful. And then about halfway through me fixing it, she just completely softens up and she just kind of drops her shoulders and she goes, and she's like, "I'm really sorry that I was grumpy. I'm really sorry that I wasn't very nice." And I was like, "No, you weren't grumpy. It's okay. I understand. If I was going through this, I might get a little grumpy too, but we'll fix the problem. Don't worry." And we fixed it. And she was like, "I really appreciate that. Thank you. Like, you've really helped me." So that will happen sometimes. You might find someone that's mean and you just be unbelievably kind to them. If you want to, you don't have to. You're allowed to just walk away, do whatever the hell you want. But sometimes you'll be unbelievably kind to someone that's mean, and then they'll just drop everything and they'll go, "I'm really sorry. I was just having a bad day." And you're like, "No, I get it. That's cool." Working in retail for a number of years sort of showed me that sometimes people will be grumpy and they'll come to you with problems. And if you're just kind, a lot of the time they'll just drop it. Now, a lot of the time they won't, and that's okay. You don't have any expectations with that. But yeah, let's keep reading. How each, as in each woman, treated random guys who approached them was always a predictor or indicator of their personality and things to come. Yeah. People also say the same thing about waiters and waitresses. I see this on Tinder a lot. A lot of girls, people would be doing it, but I obviously only see women on Tinder. A lot of women on Tinder will say like, a red flag for me is disrespecting or being mean to the waiter. Like people talk about that. That's kind of a meme. They're like, how do you treat the waiter? If you're kind to a random waiter, then I want to date you. If you're not kind to a random waiter, then maybe you're a bit of a grumpy bum. We'll phrase it like that. So yeah, how you approach random people. Because how you approach a stranger is how you're going to approach me eventually if we date each other for long enough. Like if you're mean to a stranger, you're probably going to be mean to me at some point. And that, for me personally, me, Andy, is just not something that I'm really interested in. If somebody's rude to me, I'll be kind and compassionate back to them. But you're probably not going to fucking have a place in my life. Like anyone that leaves a negative YouTube comment, I'll be kind and polite and all of that and show you love and try and help and stuff like that. But you're not exactly skyrocketing to my list of people that I want to spend my time and attention and focus on helping. But if you're just nice, then fuck yeah, I want to spend time helping you. And obviously in a relationship, the same thing. I haven't seen differently, honest to God, every fucking time eventually. Every single girl, friend, or fuck buddy that I saw being a bitch to a random guy had baggage that eventually showed up on my doorstep or voicemail. Yeah, people that are high drama or people that are mean to other people, that's always going to come back to you. It's a big part of the reason why I cut a lot of drama out in my life. I've talked about this a billion times, but I had quite a few women that were not particularly kind or that were actively mean to me. And this was back in the days when I was just desperate to have more sex. And so I would put up with it. And inevitably, I'll start that whole thing again. They were mean to other people, or they would bitch and moan about their friends. And, my friends are fucking me over. Like anyone that complains, basically, I don't have in my life. I basically have no one in my life that complains. Now, if they're talking through something and they're like, "I'm going through some stress at work, blah, blah, blah," of course I'll listen. That's what my coaching is, right? It's people talking about their problems and then me helping them find a solution. But if somebody complains and it's obvious that they don't want a solution or that they don't want to improve the situation, no, fuck no, that person's not in my life. Like, why would I spend time with that person? I don't interact with people like that in the YouTube comments. I might write one or two nice things to them, but that's it. I'm not going to sit there and like help that person because they don't want my help anyway. I'm never going to have someone like that in the coaching group. Someone like that wouldn't want to sign up for coaching anyway. If you just wanted to whinge and complain and be negative, you wouldn't be spending that amount of money on coaching. But I did used to have more people when I didn't charge as much for coaching. It's probably the biggest reason why I charge what I charge. As the price has gone up, like when I was charging $100 for a coaching session, or even now, I offer $200 coaching sessions. Every now and then, someone will pay $200 to just whinge and complain and have no intention of improving it. So the lower that price, the more people do that. But as you put that price up, you kind of screen that out. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm just not interested in negativity because I was that myself for like 10 or 15 years. I'm just not interested in negativity anymore. I understand that it's there. I understand that people are negative, that they whinge, that they complain. I understand. I turn the news on for half a second and I understand complaining and negativity, but It's just not something I want in my life, so I don't have it in my life. And the same thing applies to drama and stuff like that. And if you want negativity in your life, you're allowed to. It's your life. It just isn't really what I want. After I saw this pattern, I'd fucking cringe when one of my girls was rude to another person. Oh no, another fucking psycho, and I'd be right. Once I realized this, I tried to preemptively thwart a potential attack on 1 or 2 occasions. I don't know what that was about. We aren't going to treat each other that way. They'd agree, only to later prove to be a psycho, seemingly in need of heavy medication. I'm less than half joking. Yeah, if somebody's like very much in the negative phase of their life, or they're just a negative person in general, or they love negativity, yeah, they'll promise you the sun and the moon, and they'll say, I'm never going to be negative. I promise I'll be nice to you. No, I know I was rude to that other person, but I'd never do that to you. But you kind of can't help it. If you're like stuck in negativity or anger, or if you're just a very unhappy person, like it comes out sometimes. You're trying your best, you're doing your best. But when I was depressed and unhappy, yeah, I try my best to be nice to people, but even now and then I'd just be unkind to my family, and I'd feel incredibly guilty because they were so lovely to me, and I'd apologize or I'd try and make up for it, but like I couldn't help myself. So the same thing here. It's not even that these women were like trying to be horrible to him or trying to be dramatic or something or trying to be a psycho. No, they were trying to do their best. It's just that when you're stuck in that, you can only use willpower for so long to stop from being mean to people. That's why obviously one of the big answers is self-improvement, stoicism, therapy, a little medication if you want to, though I'm usually not a big advocate of medication. I'd prefer meditation, working on your self-improvement, stuff like that, but something to jump in there and start improving that. And that was what worked for me. Things like cognitive behavior therapy, which is a type of therapy, obviously, and yeah, moving up from there and improving myself. Sometimes a polite girl would later turn out to be a crazy head case, but this was way less common. So if you run into some girl that acts like an emotionally unhealthy bitch, or a guy, or your boss at work or something, it's because she is or will be. Even the ones that have big public blow-ups and apologize later, they're nuts too. And again, I wouldn't necessarily say the word nuts. I phrase it like they're going through something unhappy in their life. They're just not in a great headspace, because that can help you, like I said, empathize. And then from that empathetic point of view, it's much easier to move away. It's much less scary for you. Like if you call someone nuts, if you say, oh, this woman's an unhealthy bitch, she's a psycho, it's scary. And that's how a lot of people talk. They're like, oh, wow, this guy's a fucking psycho. This guy's a creep. It's like you creep yourself out by calling a guy a creep. Literally, you're creeping yourself out. He's not creeping you out. You are, by calling him a creep. You don't know any better. You're doing your best. Same thing is here. If you say a woman is a bitch and a psycho, you're feeling fear. You're going, oh my God, she's a psycho. I should be scared. I should judge her and run away from her and push her away, and she's fucking scary. Because you're scaring yourself by using the word unhealthy bitch, psycho, crazy, nuts, all of that kind of stuff. And so that's why I prefer to use language that calms me down, that doesn't make me get irrationally upset. And which is funny because this is about how like she's irrationally upset. But I will use a phrase like, oh, they're just unhappy. They're going through an unhappy place in their life right now. That's much easier to move away from. I can go, yeah, look, they're just not a happy person. That's not what I like in my life. I don't like drama. So I'm just going to move away. But if you call them an unhealthy bitch or a psycho or nuts, you're, funnily enough, being dramatic, which is the thing that you're saying they're doing. And by the way, none of this is me criticizing Good Looking Loser. I'm just saying what I like to do. I don't call people nuts. I don't call people an unhealthy bitch. I don't call them a psycho, because that's me being dramatic, which is the thing I just said I don't want. So I'll use peaceful language and just say, they're just going through some shit right now. Maybe they'll be going through some shit for their entire life. Like maybe that's just them. They're just someone that always goes through stuff and is dramatic and unhappy and grumpy and all of that. That's okay. I just don't want that, so I'm going to move away from that. I just do that with peace. I'm like, no, that's not what I want. Because often if you use phrases like unhealthy bitch and nuts and psycho, sometimes you'll say that to her, or you'll say that to the person. You'll give them that vibe, or you'll make it obvious that you think that about them. And then they'll blow up, and then you'll go, oh my God, why did they blow up on me? Because you called them nuts, or you said they're an unhealthy bitch, or you said they have mental problems. That's why I use language like, oh, they're just going through some stuff. And I've even had those conversations. I've been on dates with people. Imogen and I have been on dates with people recently even, but I've been on dates with people where it's very obvious they're emotionally unstable and they are not in a great headspace. And the littlest trigger might make them fucking explode. I don't then go like, oh, you're an unhealthy bitch, you're a psycho. Like, no, thank you. I would just gently say, hey, it sounds like you're going through some stuff right now. And they're like, yeah, I am. Thank you. Yes, I am. And I'm like, do you think that you're in the place to date right now? Do you think that like you're in a good place to date right now? It's not for me to say, but like, what do you think? And they're like, I don't know. Sometimes, I'm just going through some stuff. And I'm like, I understand. Well, look, I think I don't want to go any further. I like to date people that are sort of feel like they're really in a good place and they're really excited about dating and they just feel super happy and they're not going through a lot of stuff because, I want us to sort of see each other when we're not going through a lot of stuff. So there's less pressure on both of us. And I'll have that conversation with them and they'll go, thank you for being so nice to me. Thank you for being so kind about this. Sure, I understand. And then I just gently move away. I don't have to say like, oh, wow, I dodged a bullet. Red fucking flag. This woman's a psycho. Now, I used to talk like that. I used to call women crazy. I used to use all that language, but I just found that it was like far less scary for me and easier for me to just be like, no, she's going through some stuff. She's unhappy right now. That's cool. If someone is mean to me on the street, I'm like, wow, they're probably just having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, maybe even a bad life. That's okay. I had a bad couple of years for like 10 years of my life, so I get it. I just won't spend time with that person. And I definitely do that with YouTube comments. That has been a godsend. Not calling them an asshole or like a hater. So many people say like, you're a hater or a troll. I will never use that word like, oh, this is a troll. And other people will. They'll say, oh, Andy, ignore that troll. And I'm like, that's not a troll. That's a human being who's going through some shit right now. And I get that. I'm not going to interact with them. I'm not interested in that. Or I might say something kind to them and then whatever happens after that. But most of the time, honestly, I ignore. I'm going to say like 75% of negative comments I just don't really write anything to. And maybe 25% I'll write something nice to them and see how they're going. But I just won't interact with them. But I won't call them a troll because if I call them a troll, then what happens? They go, fine, you're calling me a troll? Well, fuck you, Andy. And then they're going to double down on their negativity. And I'm just hurting them unnecessarily. So yeah, anyway, that's me and what I like to do. But don't blame yourself for one goddamn second. Yes, that was the entire point of this article. That's the main takeaway from this article, at least the main thing that I took from it. It took me like 20 plus fuck buddies to figure this out. Early on, I'd get upset with myself if someone was mean to me. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people are just not used to having strangers or other people be mean to them. It definitely took me a long time, especially with YouTube comments, but even with women not being interested in dating me. And again, a book that really helps with all of this is this book, I Need Your Love, Is That True? By Byron Katie. This is literally a book on how to be okay with people being mean to you, with people not liking you, with people, quote, rejecting you, with people not being interested in dating you or being your client or your friend or your boss being mean to you. This book is about how to deal with all of that. It's basically a book on stoicism and a book on, I don't know if you'd call it self-love. I call it self-love, but you might also want to call it like, I don't fucking know, like independence, not needing other people to like you. Early on, I'd get upset with myself if someone was mean to me. In 2006, I actually went home and cried one time. Yeah, brother, so did I when I first started talking to women and going outside. I went home and cried like basically every single day for like 3 months straight. The women weren't even being mean to me, but it was just like, they were like, oh, thank you so much, but I have a boyfriend. And then I'd be like, oh my God, I got rejected. It's why I understand like concepts like rejection and all of that, because I went through all that stuff myself. I believed all of those stories. I believed the story of if a woman has a boyfriend, that means I got rejected brutally and it was hard and it was suffering and oh my God, it was the worst thing ever, because I went through that and then I was able to come out the other side of it. I was able to reframe it in my head and go, wait, she's not rejecting me. She has a fucking boyfriend. It has nothing to do with me. Why am I taking this personally? The same as if any woman was ever mean to me, which again was pretty rare, but it happened a couple of times. And I was able to see, oh, she's having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month. All I did was walk up to her and say, hi, you're cute. And I put my hand out, I'm Andy. If someone's mean to that, they're probably not having a great day. They probably don't want a stranger coming up to them and interrupting them and talking to them. And that's fine. That's reasonable. I've felt like that too many times. And I haven't been super kind to people. If I don't want to get bothered and someone comes up to me and is like, hey, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm just not interested. So you can push through that and realize or have that empathy and realize, oh, these people are probably just having a bad day. That's okay. Like, I don't need everyone to have a great day and be kind to me all the time. And again, this book helps with that. This book is like how to be okay with people being whatever the fuck people are. Sometimes they're going to be nice to you, sometimes they're going to be mean to you, and that's all beautiful. That's what this book is about. Later on, I'd get into verbal sparring matches. Yeah, that usually just ends up hurting you. I went through that. I went through a period of that. I definitely went through that with lockdowns and COVID. I really didn't handle lockdowns. I did my best, but I really wasn't super happy during lockdowns. I was like depressed and I was suicidal for a day there during all the lockdowns. I really went a bit crazy. I did my best to maintain happiness and stuff like that, but yeah, I really didn't do well with being locked up. I am not the person that deals well with being locked up when he did nothing at all to deserve said lockup. But I really didn't handle that well. And so there were some people that were like, you should be inside, you should be wearing a mask. And I would just get into a verbal fucking sparring match. And that did not make me happy. I was doing the best I could at the time. But yeah, he goes on to say, and I called the crazy girls with big boobs fat and the girls with small boobs flat. Haha. I was still bummed out though. Yeah, like being mean to others doesn't make the pain inside you any better. In fact, it just amplifies it. I remember pickup artists and dating gurus saying, oh, that's her fault, or it's her loss, etc. I knew what they were saying, but I didn't really believe it because I didn't know from personal experience. Yeah, you won't ever really hear me saying that. Like, I've said that a few times many, many years ago, but like, I don't really say it's her loss anymore. So what he means there is, let's say you were a guy, again, it applies to women too. Let's say you were a person who hit on somebody that you were interested in and they just politely said like, no, thank you. Some people will say to tell yourself, oh, it's his loss. Like he's missing out. Like, he doesn't really, I want to do this. This is going to be fun. Girl, he misses out on a queen like me. Sorry, you snooze, you lose. Like, yeah, that just ends up making you feel combative. And, they say that to guys too. They're like, oh, that's her loss. Like, she misses out on an alpha male stud like you. And it's like, I mean, does she really miss out? Can you really say that person is missing out? They're literally saying, I don't think you and I are compatible, or I do not wish to be with you. How have they missed out? They haven't missed out on anything. They're literally saying, I don't want this. And you're saying they're missing out on something they don't want. They just said, I don't want this. And you're saying he missed out or she missed out on something they don't want. It's like, that's not missing out. That's them getting what they want. That's them doing what they want. And on this channel, we're all big fans of people doing what they want. I want all of you to do whatever you want. I want other people to do what they want. I want every human being on the planet, and not every human being on the planet. That's a lie. Every human being on the planet at every moment in time does what they want. Sometimes they'll say this isn't what I want, but they're getting something out of it. They're doing that for a reason. They might stay in an unhappy relationship and say, I'm not happy. I don't want to be here. And it's like, yes, you do. You're getting something out of it. Even if all you're getting out of it is the ability to complain about the relationship, that's something, because that gets you attention, sympathy, validation, all that kind of stuff. So we always, at all points in time, are doing what we want to be doing. We might not be doing something that's healthy for us long term or that aligns with our goals. It might seem like we're doing something that we don't want to do, but we're getting something out of it. We're doing it for a reason. It's serving a purpose. So yeah, I tend not to say, oh, it's that person's loss if they don't want to date me. I'm like, hey, that's fucking beautiful that they chose what they wanted to do. If they say, I don't want to date you, then I'm like, fucking, that's amazing. You're saying what you want. I love that you have healthy boundaries. I love that you know what you want and what you don't want. That's amazing. So yeah, I tend to talk in those terms. I knew what they were saying, but I didn't really believe it because I didn't know from personal experience. I'm here to tell you, girls that are boring, weird, or rude are boring, are weird, and are rude. And the last two tend to have major baggage. Yeah, again, people who are like, I don't know about weird, because weird is such a subjective term. It's hard to nail down, but people that are rude to you or that are unkind or that are actively trying to hurt you with what they're saying, which some people do, especially if you run a YouTube channel. When someone's rude or they're trying to hurt you or they're just mean to you, they don't seem to care about you being a happy, individual. They tend to have major baggage or just major unhappiness in their life. And so with that, we can, if we want to, have a little bit of compassion for them, like I said, and go, oh man, okay, they're just going through some stuff right now. That's okay. I've gone through some stuff too. I'll leave them be, or I'll offer some words of kindness to them, or I'll just, walk away or whatever, and that's okay. I've gone through some periods of my life where I wasn't happy too. And all of us have. Every single one of us has been rude to strangers before. And yet in the moment, when someone is rude to us, we'll go, they shouldn't be rude to me. And it's like, okay, but have you ever been rude to anyone else in your entire life ever? Ever? Like at one time, have you been rude to someone ever? Even if it was when you're a child? Yes. Okay, then you understand being mean to people. And you can kind of think about, what were you thinking? What were you feeling? What were you believing? What were the thoughts in your head? What were you going through at the time when you were mean to someone? And you'll have reasons. You'll be like, well, I had just lost my job. So yeah, of course I was mean to people. Yeah, the person who's being mean to you right now might be going through something similar, or something that's equally bothering them, or some story that they're believing in their head. So yeah, with that empathy, we can take it a lot less personally. Seriously, trust me on this one. I'm friends with some of these girls. It's a shame, but I don't play Dr. Phil and try and fix them. If you encounter this type of stuff, my advice is to get super physical with them. You have nothing to lose. Okay, that's definitely not my fucking advice at all. That's like the polar opposite of what I would advise. I would advise you all to do whatever you want to do, but I'm definitely never going to say get physical with someone, and especially never and when he says physical, he means like holding their hand and kissing them and putting your hand on their shoulder and stuff like that. Like flirting, touching, stuff like that. He doesn't mean like punch them or something. I just want to make that fucking clear. But because there'll be someone that misreads this and is like, whoa, okay, so he's saying that you should punch a woman if she's mean to you. And it's like, that's not what he's saying. But even then, I would not touch someone. I don't advise touching people. I always just say to people, yo, I want to touch you. I want to fucking hold your hand. Exceptions are if you're already dating, or you're feeling a lot of chemistry, or it's very obvious that you two are sexually flirting and that there's a lot of chemistry. That's fine. Like, that's different. Or you're back at your apartment, you've invited her back or him back, and you're sitting on the couch together and yeah, fine, great. Even then, a lot of the time, I'm just like, yo, do you want to kiss? Yo, I want to hold your hand. Come here. Yo, can I hold your hand? Like, I'll just fucking say it because I just find that easier. Anyway, you don't want to get emotionally attached to them, or vice versa. And like I said, in my life, if someone's like, because he's talking about people who are mean, don't worry about weird, but people who are rude and mean and have baggage, and he specifically says like, you can just have sex with them, but don't get attached. I'd go further. And in my life, I definitely wouldn't stick my penis in someone that I feel like is mean to me or rude to me. I just don't need to. I have enough other human beings on the planet that want to date me. And if I feel like I don't have enough human beings on the planet that want to date me, which some of you will feel like that, I improve myself, or I move to somewhere where there's more people, or I talk to more people so I can find the ones that like me, right? Like I said, I work on myself so that more people are interested in me. They make horrible fuck buddies for the most part, and they are nobody that you would want to be in a relationship with. If you're able to spark something up, treat them like you'll never see them again. I definitely know that's a fast track to drama, so that isn't what I like to do. You can do whatever you want to do at the end of the day, again. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be having sex with someone that's mean to me and then treating them like I'll never see them again, because that tends to just bring even more drama. The good news is there's tons of healthy, happy, super hot girls out there, and others that bring only a minimal amount of drama. And go further than that, there's plenty of people that bring negative drama. What I mean by that is like negative amounts of drama. They will like help alleviate drama in your life. They'll be a positive force for good on your life, and you'll actually have less drama in your life, and they would never bring you drama. Plenty of the women, I would just say all the women that we see right now are like that. Imogen is like that. Imogen brings no drama. I wouldn't have been with her for this long if she brought drama. Same as the girl that we've been seeing for a year and a little bit. I can't even envision her bringing drama. She's like the opposite of drama. I want you to keep this in mind when you are screening. You have more of a Mr. Pussy Inspector mentality, which is good. Basically, when he talks about Mr. Pussy Inspector mentality, it's a very like polarizing way of phrasing it, but I'll zoom out a little bit. The whole point of that is find the people that are into you and that you are into them. So find the people that you have a connection with, rather than trying to please people and jump through hoops and, oh, please, mistress, please like me. Oh, please, guy, like, please like me. Please, like, I'll change myself to make you like me. No, go find the guy that likes you already. Go find the woman that likes you already, and you like them, and then build something together. Is she a weirdo? You really don't know. Honestly, after 3.5 years of this stuff, I can't really predict it. You don't know anything. Neither do I. Yeah, and I can add at this point, it's like 8 years or so of me doing this stuff. Like having sex, relationships, dating. For a big part, it was just wanting to get laid. All of that kind of stuff. I've been doing this shit for 8 years. Everything he said here, yeah, this article is like one of my favorite ones. Obviously, I'd phrase things a little differently than he does, but I really like the philosophies of a lot of his articles. Anyway, let's keep reading. We have no idea who is emotionally healthy and who is not until you start talking to them. But I think that's the point he's going to make. If I were to approach 10 girls and have you and I predict the outcome of every approach, I guarantee you and I would get over 50% wrong most of the time. 100% agree with this. And do you know how many times people will like ask me to mind read someone? Like they'll say, hey, Andy, I started talking to this girl and blah, 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 blah. Can you tell me what she was thinking? And I'm like, how the fuck are you asking me to read someone's mind? And women will do the same thing. There's a woman in the coaching group right now. And when she first came in the first weeks, it was like, she was doing the same thing. She's like, what is this guy thinking? Or what do you think this guy wants? And it's like, I don't know. Why don't you ask him? Like, I can't know that. I can't read people's minds. And so Good Looking Loser's saying the same here. If we just pick 10 random women on the street or 10 guys on the street and we try and predict if they're going to be nice to us or if they're interested in us or if they want to date us or if they want to grab coffee with us, if we try and predict that, you can't. You will just get it wrong 50% of the time. 100% agree with that. There's like no way to predict how someone is going to react to you, which is why I always say keep an open mind. Like go up to that person and say, hi, hello, and you might be blown away by them. I have approached some people that look like the cutest, sweetest, nerdiest little bookworms, like the people that you thought would be so unbelievably kind and sweet and shy, and they turn out to be not rude, but just like cold and uninterested. And then I have approached women that just look like, I don't even know how you'd phrase it, but they look scary is probably the best way of phrasing it. Like I've approached women that have like face tattoos and like neck tattoos and their entire body is just covered in tattoos. I can think of one woman in particular who had a shaved head, face tattoos and neck tattoos, was wearing all black and these boots that were like this big, high heels that were like this big with spikes all over them. And all of this jewelry with spikes on it. She was dressed like goth but just like terrifying. And I was out with my friends, and we saw this woman was just strutting her stuff down the middle of down like the walkway, the pathway down the street. And she just like stormed past all of us. And she had that like, what do they call it? Like resting bitch face. Like she was just on a mission. She was like grumpy. I guess you'd call it grumpy. She looked serious and she just looked scary. And she walked past us and my friends turned to look at her and they were like, holy shit, dude. Like she's a man eater. Like she would destroy you. Like holy shit. Like she's a freak. And something in my head was like, I don't know her though. I have to go like find out. And so I chased after her. I got her attention, waved in front. I was like, hey, this is random, but I thought you were super attractive. You're super hot. I wanted to say, hey. And again, remember, a woman with a shaved fucking head, face tattoos, neck tattoos, all black, high heels like this big with spikes on them, fucking spikes all over her, piercings and everything. You'd think like, holy shit, covered in tattoos. You're like, holy shit, this woman's scary, shaved head and everything. And as soon as I told her, like, you're really pretty or you're really hot, I can't remember what I said, but as soon as I told her that I was interested in her and said, hey, and I put my hand up, she was like the sweetest little pussycat, the sweetest little adorable sweetheart that you're ever going to meet. She was like fawning all over me and she was like, oh my God, thank you. That's so nice of you. Oh my God, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. And I can't remember her name, but she shook my hand and she was like, oh my God, thank you. And I was like, wow, like, what are you up to tonight? She's like, oh, I was just like going to see my friends and like, we're going to have a nice time. And she was like such a fucking adorable sweetheart. And I asked for her number. I can't remember if she's single or not. We obviously didn't end up getting together. So I don't know if she's single or not, but she was like the sweetest person ever. And I have had that happen with so many people where I had an idea of what they were going to be like. Homeless people too. That's another really good one. I will see someone who's homeless and my thought will be like, oh yeah, this person is like a little rough around the edges. I will go over and I will sit down with them and I'm like, hey bro, is there anything I can do for you? And they're just so kind. They're like, thank you, my brother. That's so nice. And they'll shake my hand. Sometimes they'll hug me and we'll just talk for a little bit. And they're like the nicest person ever, even though my brain was like, that's a scary human. And I've had so many people that I've even dated that I thought one thing about them and they were kind of the opposite. And so, yeah, I've really come to see that you can't really predict how something is going to go. You can't really predict how someone is going to be. I did a sales job. It was kind of like sales. It was like collecting money for charity where you just go around, you basically cold approaching. And I did that for a while. So I did that for a couple of weeks. It was like a volunteer thing. And I would have approached, I don't fucking know, like several thousand people. And you basically approach them and say, hey, would you like to make a donation to this charity, blah, blah, blah. So you're cold approaching strangers. And there was this guy that had like shaved, tattoos all over his head, big muscle guy. And he had the kind of tattoos that I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about, but they're called black work tattoos. Yeah, like this, where it's just like pure black. And here's probably a better example. So I don't know how well, there you go. You can kind of see the hands where it's just like almost like scratches. It looks like they've just scratched all over their hand with like the tattoo ink. And he was like that. His entire body was like that, especially his face. And it was really fucking intimidating. And he had those, he had like fake horns in his head, like the body modification shit. There you go. This. See the little horn things up here, these bumps? These are implants that people get. And see how this guy has like black eyes? Like the white is black. This guy had that. And this guy didn't have quite as many facial piercings as this, but he had a few. So he didn't actually look that different from this. But imagine like more face tattoos. And his entire body was tattooed. And I was really fucking intimidated by this guy. And then I was like, oh, because I'm intimidated, I want to see what happens if I talk to him. So I walk over, I'm like, hey, bro, like, how's your day going? Would you like to make a donation? And this guy was like so freaking unbelievably nice. He's like, oh man, that's so awesome. I love that you're doing that. We talked for a little bit. He made a donation. He's like, dude, I love that you're doing this. And I was like, bro, thanks for being so nice. And he's like, yeah, no, dude, thank you for being nice. Thank you for doing this charity thing, like blah, 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 blah. And so that is yet another example. And I have so many of these examples of someone that I thought would be mean or unhappy or not nice to me or something, and they were the opposite. And then so many examples of someone that I thought, I can guarantee this person's going to give me a good reaction and be nice to me. And no, they were just cold. Because you never know what's in another human being's head. You can't see beneath the surface. You can try and guess, but you're guessing, which again is why if a coaching client or some of you in the audience says, hey, Andy, I was in this situation with a woman or a man. Can you please tell me what I did wrong or what they were thinking or what they wanted? And it's like, how could I ever guess that? I'm not in their head. I don't know the human being. That's why I advocate for asking. You know, when people, here's a really good example. When guys are like, hey, I had this woman or I have a woman back at my place, you know, how do I make a move? Like, how do I know that she wants me to make a move? And it's like, you're asking me to read her mind. The only way to know, or the quickest, easiest, and most peaceful way to know is to just say, hey, I want to make a move on you right now. Do you want that? Hey, I want to kiss you right now. Yo, do you want to kiss me right now? Yo, do you want to fool around a little bit? Yo, I'm like really into you. Do you want to like kind of mess around a little bit? Do you want to go into the bedroom? You know, any of these sort of things. So that's why I just advocate for saying what you want. I call that autistic honesty rather than trying to be the mind reader who can predict body language or any of that. I just go, no, just be autistic and be honest. Just go, I don't understand your body language. I don't know what's in your head because I don't have a mind reading device. Do you want to make out with me? Do you want to come back to my place? All right, you fabulous humans, let's keep reading. I used to think that the girls that smiled with their mouths open after I touched them weren't psychos. There's no correlation whatsoever. So here he's just saying he used to pick random, almost like superstitious reasons to try and guess whether or not someone was a psycho or not a psycho. Yeah, I used to do the same sort of stuff. I would just like read so much into people's body language to try and read their mind. And really, as he goes on to say, the psycho girls, or I prefer to say people that have a lot going on and are a little bit stressed and not super happy people, they will let you know that they are damaged. It's not your issue, especially in the age of dating apps, which when Chris, Good Looking Loser, wrote this article, this was probably like 2009, 2010. There were dating apps, but they weren't as popular. Online dating was not as popular as it is these days. And what you'll see a lot in dating apps, especially on Hinge, is people will literally just say, I have mental issues. Now, I don't know if men do it as much because I'm not really seeing men. I don't really see like that side of things, but women, all the women that I've seen, a lot of women that I've seen on dating apps will specifically say, I have mental issues, or there's a prompt that people can answer. And the prompt is, my therapist would say, and then they answer that I'm crazy or that I'm their worst patient. They will like literally tell you that they are not in a particularly stable or happy place because it benefits them to tell you. Because then you won't find out. There won't be any unwanted or unexpected surprises. They want to screen as much as you might want to screen. And you might be trying to filter out unstable people. And generally speaking, unstable people are trying to filter out stable people because they don't want the drama of the person saying, oh my God, you lied to me. If I'd known you had, mental unhappiness, then I would have left. So it benefits them to screen. It sounds like a strange thing, but when you actually start to think about it, it makes sense. A lot of people who are unhappy will specifically screen for other unhappy people because they don't want a happy person there almost as a mirror reflecting back on them, showing them, look, you're not happy, I am happy. That's not comfortable for a lot of unhappy people. So that is why you see a lot of unhappy people screening out or filtering in other unhappy people. And the opposite is true. Happy people tend to want to spend time with other happy people. Sure, you're screening to see who's down to fuck or DTF, but frankly, you're going to figure out a lot more in the process. Some girls will be DTF, or you could phrase that as available. Some people will be available and will be polite. Some people won't be available and will still be polite. Some people won't be available and will have emotional problems. And in some rare cases, some people will be available and will have emotional problems, and you'll run into them later in the night and then they'll apologize drunkenly. He says, fuck them if you want and don't call them. I don't recommend that. I really don't recommend that. But at the end of the day, you're all adults. You can all do whatever you would want. And I want whatever you want. But I personally do not like to have sex with someone and then not call them again. Unless, of course, I have sex with someone and then I find out there's some incompatibility that I couldn't have seen before that. Fine, that happens. But I don't have sex with someone intending to not call them again. The emotionally unhealthy girls aren't worth adding to your life. You may or may not believe this yet, but you will though. Yeah, if you meet enough human beings, you come to see a lot of what he wrote about and a lot of what I talk about. It comes from experience, as he said at the start of the article. This might not be overly insightful. You probably heard it before too. I'm confirming that it's true, and one of the reasons that rejections or get lost completely stopped bothering me. Yeah, at some point you don't even see it as a rejection. You're just like, this person isn't interested. Cool. If you can grasp this, you'll be able to do unlimited approaches without much of a shift in your own state. Yeah, and this applies to everything in life. If you can, in business, see everybody that says no as not rejecting you, they're just not interested in what you're offering. My God, business becomes fun and exciting because now you're just hunting for the people that want to say yes to you and you're giving them something beautiful. They give you money back in return. You guys are grateful for each other's, what you're offering each other, and you can have this beautiful reciprocal relationship. Same with friendships. You're just looking for the people that want to be friends with you and you want to be friends with them. And you don't have a mental shift. You don't get bothered if somebody doesn't want to be your friend or doesn't want to have sex with you or doesn't want to date you or doesn't want to give you something that you want. You're just like, that's cool. I'll just go and talk to more people. I'll do approaches. And again, a book that really helps with this is this book, I Need Your Love, Is That True? Byron Katie has a quote from that book where she says, people come into my life and people go out of my life. I love when they come and I love when they go. And she's a very big fan of, she literally talks about, she doesn't say the word the numbers game, but she talks about if someone isn't giving you what you are seeking or if someone isn't giving you what you want, you can just go and ask the next person. If they say no, you go and ask the next person. You keep asking until someone says yes, or you find a way to give yourself that thing that you're seeking, which is what her book is all about. So Byron Katie, you heard it here first. She's a big advocate of, the numbers game, talking to a lot of human beings until one of them wants what you're looking for. He says, try screening with touching. And again, I don't recommend touching. Again, you can all do whatever you want, but you'll never hear me say go up to strangers that you don't know and touch them physically. I mean, other than maybe a gentle hug or something like that, fine. But what he used to do and what he used to refer to was physically touching them, touching them on the waist, touching them in a flirty or a sexual way. Yeah, I just don't do that stuff. I'll shake hands with someone. I'll give them a hug or something if they want me to. But yeah, I personally don't touch them to screen them. But that's what he used to do. And I had friends that did that. And I'd never judge someone for doing that. It just isn't what I want, what I do. Try screening by saying, are you a psycho? You could do whatever you want, but I wouldn't necessarily do that. But whatever. Emotionally healthy girls get a kick out of it because they know that other girls are lunatics. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's the Good Looking Loser article. Again, I said this kind of at the start, but I really appreciate Good Looking Loser and all the beautiful, wonderful articles that he wrote that helped me change my life. And like I said, it was a very masculine and hyper male focused and hyper sex focused blog, like that was kind of his thing. But he had a separate blog where he wrote a lot of business advice, and a hell of a lot of the stuff that I have in my content and my coaching comes from Good Looking Loser. Part of the reason why I've done so much free content is because he literally wrote a series of articles saying, if you build it, people will come. Give away as much as you possibly can for free, and beautiful things will come back to you. That comes from him, by the way. That's Chris from Good Looking Loser. And I think that's probably the advice that has stuck with me the most when it comes to my content, this channel. You know, we're getting towards 10,000 subscribers, which I'm so unbelievably grateful and excited for. And everything that we've built, you know, here and over on the Spotify podcast and on my blog, my coaching program and all of that stuff, I don't even know if it would exist. I honestly don't know. I don't know if it would exist if it wasn't for Chris and Good Looking Loser writing all of those articles, basically giving me permission to build something beautiful and to write all of this and giving me the courage to release it for free. I used to have, or before I even started a blog, I kind of had the same mindset that most people have. I thought that making money meant that you had to like get money from people. And he was the very first person that I ever heard say, you can give a ton of value and money will kind of just come back to you. But you go first, you give first, you help people, genuinely care about them and love them and do your best to provide for them, and money will come back. And that came from him. And then obviously other people that I've read that talk about the same thing, Gary Vee, Alex Hormozi, Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income, Mother Teresa, Seth Godin. There's so many people that talk about this, but Good Looking Loser was the first. And Good Looking Loser was the person that I trusted because he had a track record of dating and improving himself and working through his mental hurdles and all of that. So I will forever be very grateful to him. I've pointed this out a million times. I don't know if you can see, but I have a tattoo on my arm that is a cute little duck holding a rifle, and that has a very personal meaning. And some of you will know what that is, some of you won't. But right on his head, I know it's a little hard to see, but there is a logo, and that logo is the Good Looking Loser logo, Chris's website. And so I have a piece of him or a piece of his website with me 24/7, and I will always have that until the day that I die, unless I get amputated or something. But I will always be very grateful to the man. He changed my life in many, many, many ways. I really appreciate him. I wish him nothing but the best and happiness and love and peace. I may have him on the channel at some point to do an interview. He said he was interested in that. That was about a year ago, and he's just been crazy busy with business and stuff like that. So I sent him a message and said, if you ever want to come on, that'd be beautiful. If you don't, that's beautiful as well. But I will always have, and he will always have, my undying gratitude, my love, my support, and I wish nothing but the best for him. If you would like nothing but my undying gratitude, love, and support, and you'd like to join the coaching program, I will leave a link in the description below to that. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and crush those goals. If you've been wanting an amazing, awesome, elite sex life, tons of threesomes, plenty of wild adventures and great memories with awesome people, we would love to help you get there. Here's just a little bit of what our coaching clients have achieved in their time in the program. Renee had a threesome in just his second week of coaching, had a woman write him a love letter, and he went on to have sex with 12 women in just 12 weeks of coaching. Corky had his first threesome, slept with 7 amazing women, and made a ton of awesome memories with them. George and Powell both had sex with 10 women each in their 12 weeks, had a bunch of wild adventures along the way. Join me and join them by clicking the coaching link in the description below.